Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Emily's Autism Life. And if you are new, welcome. So, this time I wanted to talk about something that, can be kind of not a problem necessarily, but can be difficult for some autistic people, and that would be communication. Now, I do communicate like I communicate normally like everyone else does, but sometimes I have trouble, communicating or knowing what to say to others, kind of. Like I said, I'm high functioning, so I'm really happy that I'm able to talk and tell people what I'm thinking and feeling because I feel so bad for those on the low functioning end who can't do that and they have to use like a tablet or something to tell them how they're thinking and feeling. I mean, I feel their frustration. Like I really feel bad for them, but I'm grateful to be high functioning and be able to communicate and tell people what I'm thinking and feeling. A lot of the times I will tell people if what I'm thinking and feeling, if it's like if it's important or if it has something if I'm like something's hurting on me, I'll usually tell them. But typically if I'm thinking about something else, like sometimes my mind tends to wander into thinking these things and I like think of like these situations that haven't even happened yet, or like I come up with scenarios, kind of, and sometimes I feel just kind of worried or I feel upset about something. And but a lot of the times though, I like to keep that to myself and I try to think of a way to make myself feel better. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, sometimes I just keep those thoughts to myself. Sometimes they're just private thoughts. But sometimes if I really can't take it, like I'll tell somebody about it, like my mom or my dad or my sister, and that's what usually helps me feel better afterward is when I tell them why I'm thinking this and why I'm feeling this and kind of thing. Yeah, it really does help when you talk to somebody about it. So like I said, I try to, you know, solve it on my own, but sometimes I just can't do it on my own and I need help. Now, this can happen when I'm thinking about like future scenarios mostly. That's what makes me most anxious, and sometimes that's what I tell my mom and dad or sister what I'm thinking of, and usually they'll make me feel better by, with soothing words that help calm me down and help me not to feel as worried or stressed about it. So I'm able to communicate that stuff pretty well. My therapist, I have a little bit of a harder time telling her what's on my mind exactly because sometimes my scenarios contain kind of ridiculous things, I guess, like ridiculous scenarios, but it's like it tricks me into thinking that it might be real. You know, like it's an unrealistic scenario and your mind tricks you into thinking that it might be real. And that's why I get upset sometimes. My therapist, I have a little bit harder time telling her about that is because, she's someone else and she's not my mom or my dad. But she always tells me that I can talk to her. And I really want to start telling her these things so that she can help me with this too. Now let's talk about conversations. I'm able to have a conversation with somebody pretty well. Like sometimes I can't think of what to say and I kind of get, lost, and I tell them that. I'm like, "I'm sorry, I got lost and I didn't know what to say." Kind of thing. And yeah, sometimes, but I do have pretty good conversations with people, and sometimes they do make me a little nervous or anxious. Like depending on like the question that they're asking, if they're asking a question that I don't know about, it kind of makes me a little anxious, and sometimes it's embarrassing to say I don't know, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, and you just got to say I don't know. And you can say sorry, I don't know. That kind of stuff. Another frustrating thing for me, sorry. Another frustrating thing for me is when I want to jump into a conversation because I'm really anxious to say something, kind of either relating to it or something of my own. And sometimes it feels like one person, like after one person's finished talking, then another person starts talking, and I would feel bad jumping in because I feel like I'd be interrupting. And yeah, it's frustrating. It really is. But sometimes I just do it, I say. Sometimes I just do it, even though I feel bad for interrupting, sometimes I just say sorry for interrupting. Another thing I hate and sometimes get frustrated at is trying to explain things. Like some things are complicated for me and it's hard to explain. Like somebody asks why I'm not in college sometimes, and it's also that I just don't like explaining it to others as well. Like if somebody asks me, "Oh, are you in college?" I usually say, "No, I'm not, and this is what I do instead." Sometimes I do say that, sometimes I don't. But when I try to explain something like that to others, it can be hard because I don't know what to say. Sometimes I don't know how to word the explanation, and that's another thing that gets frustrating. But most of the time, though, I can communicate pretty well and have good conversations with others. Like with the jumping kind on conversations thing, sometimes I might interrupt somebody a little at first, but I said something and, it feels good to get that out, you know, with me talking about that. It just feels good to get that out, like I did it, and I'd feel bad if I interrupted somebody, but it just feels good knowing that I was able to jump into the conversation and say what I really wanted to say. So, yeah, sometimes my communication can be a little bit difficult for me, depending on the situation, but otherwise, that I can communicate pretty well. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.